Event 9 is called Happy Star, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty miserable. It's 4 rounds for time. They're going to run 4 separate loops there at the ranch, varying in distance, and then thrusters and bar-facing burpees. Now, here's an interesting little twist on this event. Usually, as the reps increase, the weight decreases. That will not be the case here. Event 9 at 12 underway, and we start with that first run. Happy Star is presented by Go Ruck. Chase, this is not going to be happy at all for these athletes.
It's not going to be happy, but it's going to be familiar territory. We did a hill sprint on day 1. We did a massive trail run on day 1. And what that starts to do is it starts to create a familiarity with the course, whether that was a good experience or a bad experience. And when I say not a fun run, usually in events that have 4 rounds of, say, 200 to 300 meters of running, their rest time, their break time within the movements. This specific event, these runs matter maybe more than the actual movements itself in this event. So it's a very unique test here at the ranch.
Haley Adams slipping a little bit on her way down. They have to return back to their lane, so that's when we'll know who is in the lead. And Brooke Wells is going to get there first, and she will get to work on her burpees. 5 burpees over the beam here.
Another little wrinkle in an event. We've seen burpees over a bar. We've seen burpees over a wall. We have yet to ever see burpees over a bar. It's a different height than we've seen and a different way to get over.
Brooke Wells first to the barbell. 5 thrusters now at 95 pounds.
Now the trick here early is you got to make some choices. Do I send the run or do I push the pace in the lowest rep scheme at the lightest weight?
Wells is done, moves her barbell, and now she's off on run number 2. Haley Adams is done as well, as is Tia Toomey. The 2 of them moving their barbells, and they will take off after Brooke Wells. Wells 5th place overall, 305 points back of Tia Toomey, but only 60 points back of Katherine Davis-Daughter for 2nd place.
Now this second run might be the longest of the runs we have. Again, it's been a very varying distance between 200 to 300 meters. You always throw a nice ish at the end of runs and swims at the CrossFit Games, but this gets steep and it gets nasty. You can see they're hopping over little ravines. They're running through pockets of grass and dirt. So that second run is really going to set the tone for the rest of this event, I think.
Brooke Wells making her way back down. Let's go back to Nikki Brazier at the ranch.
You guys, I caught up with Danielle Brandon, who's on the demo team, who did this workout just a little bit ago. And what she said was there's not enough time if you fall behind on the runs to catch up on the burpees and thrusters. To her, these thruster weights are not going to be heavy at all for these ladies. So if they accidentally kind of take it slower on those runs, not sure what those hills are going to do to them, rather than attack them, they won't have enough time to catch up down here in point 1.
Round 2 here, 7 burpees over the beam and then 7 thrusters now at 105 pounds for the women. Brooke Wells was your leader after the first round, and now Brooke Wells on the right side of your screen, first woman to the 105-pound barbell, 7 reps now.
I really like this tenacious start from Brooke Wells, and you're talking about someone who needs it desperately. She had a last place finish in the final event. We've seen 2 different versions of Brooke Wells this weekend. She's either getting last or she's getting in the top 2. Those have been the only 2 positions we've seen so far.
Haley Adams had a bit of a slip as she tried to squat clean that first rep and had to resituate herself. And now Brooke Wells is off on run number 3. Tia Toomey is in 2nd place in this event. And Brooke Wells looking to vault her way up the leaderboard. Again, with the point differences between the placements, you can easily make up a 60-point deficit in one event.
Now it's going to be hard for Brooke. It doesn't seem like much, but the way this is set up is that your first 2 hills are far left and about midpoint of the competition floor, where Brooke Wells is in lane number 1. She had the easiest access to that. As the runs get further and further away, those are some meters that matter. If you look at the distance between her and Tia Toomey, she's going to lose that advantage once you get to the 3rd and 4th run.
Wells continues to lead Tia Toomey. Carrie Pierce sits in 3rd, followed by Davis-Daughter and Haley Adams. There are 69 scored repetitions in this event. The run will count for 1 each. Davis-Daughter is being credited as being through 27 of those 69 reps. And now Brooke Wells, though, is your leader. She is back for her 9 burpees over the beam. At the 36 rep mark, she'll move on to the thrusters. 9 reps at 110 pounds. Remember, crossing the finish line does count as a rep. So Brooke Wells through 31 and counting now of the 69 total scored repetitions.
Now, for an athlete like Brooke Wells in the day or the weekend that she's had so far, as a coach, you just tell her to go. This is an event that she should be good at. Thrusters, low skill, gritty type movement. Burpees over a bar, same thing. Runs up a trail, same thing. She's an athlete who isn't the most refined in terms of technique and movement, but she is a gritty, strong athlete, and she needs to display that coming in. She has nothing to lose and everything to gain against Tia Toomey.
Tia Toomey and Brooke Wells getting to the barbell at the same time. 9 reps here at 110 pounds at the 45 repetition mark. That's when they will take off on their final runs.
7, 8.
And as you mentioned, Chase, this is where Toomey has the advantage because she is closer to that run than Wells. They have to go back through their lane and then make that turn. So now Toomey is going to be in front. The Wells quickly closing the distance on the overall leader. Tia Toomey, 670 total points coming into this event. 245 up on second place, Katrin Davidsdottir. But Brooke Wells, meanwhile, doing herself a favor. If she can stay close to Toomey and Katrin Davidsdottir stays back in the pack, Wells can cut a significant amount of points off that 60-point lead that Davidsdottir has over her right now.
Man, look at Brooke Wells just going for it. She needs to. Why not? What is there to lose to just try to throw a haymaker out there and see if it lands? I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing from Brooke Wells. I wish I saw more of this early in the event, not for event number 9.
And Brooke Wells might be even with Toomey. Remember, Toomey has a shorter distance to travel when they get back to the competition floor. These are your overall standings. Toomey 670 coming into the event. Davidsdottir in second, but again, just 60 points separating her from Brooke Wells.
Now, if Brooke can at least get a second, and if things hold as far as where Katrin is now, that would be a 40-point difference. But Brooke has the ability to stay with, if not beat, Tia. Now she's going to have to push the pace. This is where it all comes down to grit and fitness. We saw Adams. I mean, that's just fatigue setting in. I mean, you saw earlier, it just wasn't a clean run. She stumbled on the first run. She missed her squat clean on the second round.
And she said earlier today when she spoke with Nikki Brazier that she just didn't have a good night, wasn't feeling herself when she got up this morning, but she has been battling through it. And meanwhile, the battle for first place in this event is taking place between Tia Toomey and Brooke Wells. And Toomey is just slightly ahead of Wells. The two of them trying to get to the barbell probably about the same time. It looks like Toomey is a couple reps ahead now of Brooke Wells. The final barbell, 115 pounds, and they have to do 11 repetitions. So at the 57 rep mark, Toomey hits that. Now she's working her way back to the barbell. She is ahead of Brooke Wells.
And you saw her look over just to see where Brooke Wells determined what is her rest going to need to be going into this. She's to the bar. Brooke Wells just finishing her last set of burpees.
Toomey on the barbell, 11 reps here at 115 pounds for her. Here comes Brooke Wells trying to hold on to second place.
Tia looks so strong after everything they've done in the last 2 days.
Toomey continuing to crank away. Now just 2 reps to go before she will cross the finish line. And Tia Toomey, a clean sweep on Saturday. Another first place finish for the 3-time defending champ. And Brooke Wells fails a rep, but she has a pretty good lead.
Take your time, Brooke.
At least she did on Carrie Pierce. And it looks like Pierce may have passed her, judging by the hat. We'll have to see what's happening here, but Carrie Pierce is on her final round, as is Brooke Wells.
Pierce just
Davidsdottir and Adams are there as well.
Pierce failed out. Don't forget Adams. I mean, she might sneak in there and make a push. Brooke put it down again. Oh, my goodness.
So now Pierce is in, and she will take second. That'll be 75 points for her. So Wells really struggling on this last barbell.
And we saw the same thing happen in event 1.
Davidsdottir is across. That is huge for her. as she looks to hang on to second place overall. 55 points for the former two-time champ. And Brooke Wells struggling with this barbell, trying to now finish fourth, as Haley Adams is only a couple of reps behind her.
I think Haley Adams might have 2 reps to go and Brooke 1. Brooke's been doing singles the last 3 reps.
Wells is done, and she's going to cross the finish line, so she'll take fourth. So Brooke Wells was looking to really cut into Catherine Davis-Daughter's lead, and now will find herself trailing Davis-Daughter by even more.
Now, part of that, too, is the way she started. She was very aggressive. We said why not? Doesn't have to pay off, but it might pay off. And these are the gambles you need to take when you're in 5th place.
But Tia Toomey goes 4 for 4 on Saturday, wins every single event, and has now won 7 of the 9 total events, and there are 3 remaining, and you wonder if she's going to be able to keep the winning streak alive on the final day.
Now it came down to that final barbell. When you came up from behind, I mean, what did you tell yourself when you finally got to that heavy bar?
Well, I saw Brooke walking up at the same time as me, so I'm like, okay, just pick it up before her and go unbroken. But my mind had a little different plans than my body.
Sure.
So I had to break at 9 reps, so then I okay, let's see where she is. Okay, the bar's on the ground for her. I don't know how many more reps she has. So take a second, reset, make every rep count, and I ended up getting 1 more no rep, but then we were able to finish, so
All good
that was
from
a good
there.
event.
When you arrived back at the ranch and you saw that there was more running, after everything that you've been through yesterday, what did you think about this event?
Well, I was just like, thank goodness I've been doing more running.
Oh, right.
So my coach added a lot more running in my programming this last year just because it was definitely a weakness. So we've been trying to get better at all sorts of running. And I'm like, okay, well, this is your chance to prove yourself. And I love burpees. That was a really cool setup for burpees.
Nice.
You could kind of make it your own. You could step, you could jump. And then anything in combo with thrusters is hard. But I was like, okay, just don't let the girls get too far ahead on the run. Move as fast as you can on the burpees and keep it clean on the thrusters.
2 days of competition that we've seen. How are you holding up at this point, given everything that you've been through?
Everything's a little sore.
Okay.
But I will say my quads feel much better than they did after stage 1. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, the hamstrings, the calves from the running and stuff, and then actually my lats and my chest, everything's a little sore, which is the way it should be.
Of course. Well, congratulations. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Lane assignments for the final event of day 2, the 9th of 12 events. Matt Fraser right in the middle of the competition floor. Jeff Adler, who has moved into second place, will be in lane 2. And Justin Medeiros, 3rd overall right now, trying to put a little heat on Jeff Adler, only trails him by 5 points.
I think with this style event, this could bode well for Medeiros to have an opportunity to take Matt Fraser.
Can Matt Fraser sweep Saturday? Event 9 underway, first run. Now the advantage Fraser has is he's in the middle of the floor, so the length that he has to travel to get to those runs will not change. Event 9 Happy Star presented by GoRuck. Same keys for the women.
Yeah, familiar territory. They added again. I stole that from you guys, Sean. But they're back on the ranch. Now what's familiar is not just being back here, but this is a familiar distance of running. This is the old trail run distance. In fact, just a touch further. And it's not a fun run. These runs aren't the buy-ins or the rest periods in between. They actually have a massive implication on your success in this event. Chandler Smith said himself, it's a bad event when the burpees over anything is the rest point.
Sam Quant is back first. Now, of course, he was closest to that run. He's on the left side of your screen. Justin Medeiros is in the middle, and Matt Fraser is in the leader's jersey, the white jersey, and red shorts. 69 total scored repetitions in this event. The run counts for 1, and then each rep counts for 1, and then the finish line will also count for 1. Now 5 thrusters at 135 pounds at the 11 rep mark. They'll take off on run number 2.
This is the point where you can push the run and just do the work as far as the burpees and the thrusters are concerned. As it adds up in reps and adds up in weights, the second portion of this event is going to matter more.
Sam Quant was first onto the run, followed by Justin Medeiros and Matt Fraser. Now here comes Jeff Adler. And now Noah Olson on the left side of your screen.
I'll say Samuel Kwan on the right side of the screen. This is the first time we've seen him get out in front and push the pace a little bit. He's been flying under the radar pretty much all weekend long for 8 events. He's been right there hovering in the middle, and it's kind of where he is in the leaderboard as well. But it's nice to see Quant get out there and make a move.
He's in 5th place, but only 45 points out of 2nd. So he is still very much alive as Sam Quant makes his way down the hill after his 2nd of 4 runs. And it will be 7 burpees over the beam. And then at the 19 rep mark, he'll move on to the thrusters, 7 reps at 145 pounds. The leader's name in this event will be highlighted in blue at the top of your screen, and the number of reps that man has completed will be in the white box. And then everyone else, the number in the white box will display how many reps behind they are of the leader. And right now, Matt Fraser and Sam Quant neck and neck through 16, now 17 reps and counting of the 69 total scored repetitions. Fraser done first.
Man, just blew the doors off those 7 burpees.
And 145 shouldn't be a problem for Fraser. He gets to the barbell first. Here comes Quant. Now Medeiros is 3rd. Fraser is done. Heaves the barbell over his shoulders and onto the next station, and Fraser back to the course for his 3rd run, and now Sam Quant is done. So Matt Fraser looking to sweep all 4 events here on day 2 and lock up another 100 points.
Well, you know he doesn't want to go back to the Airbnb and have Tia talk crap to him that she got 4 and he only got 3.
Fraser taking a look over his shoulder to see where Quant is. Quant takes a look over his shoulder to see where Medeiros is. And really, it's 4 guys fighting for 2 spots on the podium right now.
Well, Quant needs this. He's sitting in 5th overall, but not by that much. The point system between 2nd and 5th for the men is much tighter than we saw for the women.
Justin Medeiros cut the corner a little bit and took a direct route. And now we see that pushing off the legs that we saw yesterday during the ranch loop. Quant is in 2nd. Here comes Medeiros. Now Noah Olson has moved back past Jeff Adler into 4th. So Adler now in 5th place. Adler in 2nd place overall, but just 5 points back of Medeiros. So whoever finishes ahead between the 2 of them will lead the other in the point standings. Here are those point standings. Matt Fraser far and away your overall leader. And then just 45 points separating 2nd through 5th.
And that could be made up in this event if Quant holds on to 2nd place. He can get himself those needed 40 to 50 points between him and the other athletes.
9 burpees over the beam at the 36 mark. Matt Fraser and company will move on to the barbell for 9 thrusters at 155 pounds. 69 total scored repetitions. Remember, crossing the finish line counts as that final rep.
I'm loving for Matt is just no hesitation. Finish your burpees, walk to your platform, pick up the bar, and he's pushing the pace of these thrusters. Absolutely incredible.
At the 45 mark, Fraser will take off on his final run, and he is done. Samuel Quant stays in 2nd place, but it's a distant 2nd right now, but he is in 1st place amongst the men, trying to finish in 2nd overall to that man. Matt Fraser all by himself right now as Sam Quant has just finished his 9 thrusters. 100 points for 1st. Looks like those are going to belong to Matt Fraser. 75 for 2nd, 55 for 3rd, 35 for 4th, and then 15 for 5th place. So it's a 25-point difference between 1st and 2nd, and then a 20-point difference after that. Fraser makes the turn. And he will head back for his final 11 burpees over the beam and 11 thrusters at 165 pounds. And looking to win every event here on day 2.
Medeiros is looking absolutely crushed behind the 3 men ahead of him. That was not a good look for Justin Medeiros.
He is struggling right now. Medeiros in third place overall. Noah Olson starting to make a push. Olson 4th place overall, only 20 points back of Medeiros.
And that's a big deal, and we've said this all weekend long, is that the interchange between 2nd through 5th has been happening every single event. It seems like no one person can just solidify the position they're in on the leaderboard, except for Matt Fraser and Tia Toomey, of course.
And just to give you an example, Jeff Adler, who sits in 2nd, he has never been in the same place overall after every event. He's been all over the leaderboard. That's how volatile the standings are here. But you have Death, Taxes, and Matt Fraser at this point because it's a sure thing that he's going to be on top of the overall leaderboard after this event. Came in with a 390-point lead, and that's only going to get bigger. Fraser done with his 11 burpees over the beam and now 11 thrusters at 165 pounds, and he will lock up his 4th win of the day and his 8th of the competition, and he will add to that career total. Four to go for Fraser at 165, and he has yet to put any barbell down, and he has yet to slow down in this event. Fraser is done, and Fraser wins another event. He sweeps Saturday at the CrossFit Games. 27 career event wins for the 4-time defending champion, and now Sam Quant trying to lock up 2nd place.
There he goes.
And Quant is in, and that is huge for the man who came in 5th place overall.
We got to look at who's going to get 2nd behind him. There, oh, Jeffrey Adler,
So
okay.
Adler doing some damage control as he tries to stay in 2nd place. That'll be good for him because he is ahead of the 2 men immediately behind him, Justin Medeiros and now Noah Olson. Now, if Olson can finish ahead of Medeiros, Olson will leapfrog him in the overall standings. And Olson is in, so Medeiros will take 5th, and he will finish with just 15 points. So Sam Quant putting on a good charge late there to hang on to 2nd place overall and pick up 75 points in the process. And Noah Olson now looking to move into 3rd place in the overall standings behind Jeff Adler.
Sam, I think you need to turn around to show us your back laying in the dirt a little bit. It was like just pedal to the metal at the very end, and you looked like you needed a minute to recover. What was going on there?
I know it was close between 2 of us, so I knew I had to just send it on those last sets of thrusters, so made it hurt bad.
Sure.
Yeah.
In a competition like this, the point spread matters.
Oh, yeah,
Every
100%.
place matters.
Yeah.
How do you have to get in the mindset in order to, push for 2nd even?
It doesn't make too much of a difference for me. I mean, going to give it all no matter what. So, I mean, obviously, I'm seeing where everyone else is, but I'm going as hard as I can. It doesn't make too much of a difference.
2 days of competition down.
Yeah.
Still 1 more to go. Still a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you are hoping to see here still?
I'd like to see some pegboards, I think.
Okay.
Heck yeah, be down for that. So, I mean, whatever Dave throws at us, it'll be good, unless
Totally.
he makes us do a whole workout again, not knowing. So, other than that, we're good.
Unless it's forward and backwards again, you're fine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank
Exactly.
you. Well, congrats. Thanks.
Hey, thank you.